things are made from one, and in the end, all things return to one.
In other words, one is all.
Indeed, and all is one as well.
All is ultimately of the one. So if all is not included in the one, then all is nothing.
You have passed.
Peace. Now is the vibrate. Y'all know what it is. When it comes to our sole purpose, or doing what we love, doing what we value, realize like there are gonna be tough things or things you don't feel like doing. Like say for instance, even when doing something you love, there's a part of doing something you love that you don't like. Like it's some part of the process, like say for instance you love painting, but you don't like sometimes when you gotta stand in line to get your paintbrushes. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it might be small things that we don't like that is a part of doing what we love, but just because again that small part of what we don't like about it exists doesn't mean like, oh, it's not meant for me to do that because I just like standing in line for the paintbrushes. It's like overall it's like, but you love doing it, you know what I'm saying? And just understanding that, like, when you love doing something, the little small parts of it that you don't like is not going to be enough to, stop you from doing it. Because imagine the fact that if there are little parts that you don't like about doing what you love, then definitely if you're doing what you don't love, the whole process is gonna feel like you're pulling out teeth. And that's something to realize too, because sometimes we'll take that rhetoric of hard work and it's gonna feel tough or it's gonna feel hard to be an entrepreneur, to start your own business, to do this, do that. Sometimes people will take that rhetoric, or those explanations and think like what they should be doing should feel like tough or like some type of obstacle all the time. And it's like, no, like you're gonna value it, you're gonna love doing it, and also you're gifted already. Like whatever it is that you're in alignment to do, the gifts come natural to you. Again, pay attention to what comes natural to you without you having to try so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like those things let you know, what I'm saying? Like what it is that is a part of your soul purpose or your alignment, And when we say soul purpose, sometimes it's not something, it may not always be career based either. You know what I'm saying? Because we think of soul purpose that quiet is kept and subtly is almost like synonymously, ooh, big word, synonymously connected to a career or a business or something. So when you hear soul purpose, you're thinking about what I should be doing as a career or a business aspect. And now your soul purpose may be just to heal yourself. You know what I'm saying? Your soul purpose may be just to, do certain things that may not have anything to do with having a business or, or dealing with your career in that essence of it, you know what I'm saying? So also be aware of that, It's like a person, like say for instance, a person who South Node or energy was in Capricorn and all they was worrying about was business. In this lifetime, they meant to really be focused on healing themselves and self-care and not let business or their career get in the way of their self-care and their healing. You know what I'm saying? And hence why, astrology as a tool of understanding yourself could be so valuable. You know what I'm saying? Now, it doesn't mean that these zodiac signs and planets rule you, or to worship it externally, or be like, oh, because of my Capricorn and this, I got to do this or that. You know what I'm saying? It's not to that extreme, but it does have an effect. Again, using the analogy, astrology or how the stars align is somewhat like the weather. And of course, the weather doesn't control your life. At the same time, if it's raining outside, the weather or rain may not control your life to that extent, but it's good to know when it's raining so you could have an umbrella. You could prepare yourself and have the proper tools to operate through that weather, and not let that weather control you and be like, oh, well, since it's raining, I just can't go outside. And it's like, you can still go outside. You just need an umbrella or something to shield you from the rain. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it bringing it full circle to the sole purpose, or doing what you love. Doing what you love is gonna have certain parts that you don't like, no matter what it is. Again, you love fixing on cars, but you dislike when you gotta just change the oil. You know what I'm saying? You love teaching and sharing knowledge, but you dislike when you may have to have like little bullet points and create little bullet points to speak on. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't like doing PowerPoints. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean like you should just throw it all away. And pay attention also to what you continuously do, no matter how many times distractions pop up. This is very key. From my experience, no matter how many times something may distract me, no matter how many times somebody, I be in a space of, maybe like in a somewhat floaty energy. And when you're in a floated energy, that means like all kind of people from outside is coming to suggest what you should be doing. Like, oh, you should do this. No matter how many times you hear somebody else's suggestions, no matter how many times distractions come in, whatever you love and value, you're going to always bring yourself back to that. You know what I'm saying? Or at least or at least you'll see that I feel bad because I'm not doing this. Like, so if you don't have the fight in you to go all the way into it, you still know, like, dang, I really wish I could be, designing boats. Or I really wish I could be inventing something. Or I really wish I could be creating something. Or I really wish I could be teaching. I really wish I could, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be there. It's going to keep popping up. So if the fight is no longer in you, and I say that the fight no longer in you, more so if it's feeling, if it's no longer showing up in your actions, so if you no longer see in your actions you going towards what you value, at least the thoughts and the emotions are going to show up, and it's going to constantly keep showing up like, man, I wish I could be doing this. I really value doing this. Wish I could be doing it. And you go about your day or try to ignore it, and then it just comes back up. Man, I really wish I could be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, it'll keep showing up in some way, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? So, and pay attention to what puts you in the zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just simply put, like, you get so into the zone of doing it, where again, what bill you gotta pay for, and depending on where you at in your growth. So don't take it as far as like, oh, I never been in the zone, so it must not or I was only in the zone for a minute. Maybe you was only in the zone for a minute because you're not used to nurturing that and putting yourself in the zone all the time. You're used to like ignoring it or giving into distractions. So that's why you never really got into that zone for a long time. But if you've done something and you done got into that zone where you so into it, like you don't even know what time it is, you don't even, you're not even paying attention to the things you were stressing about, you know what I'm saying? That's also a sign of being in alignment, with that soul purpose or what it is that you value, in essence, what you love to do, what you value, If you work in a job or something of that nature, it doesn't mean that's, what I'm saying, like, oh, I can't, take a look whenever you get a chance, what I'm saying? Just focus more on those things that you value, and depending on how, again, this is unique to you and your intuition, because some may be in a space where they need to just completely just yank themselves from the 9 to 5 because they, been getting signs to do so. Or some may be in a space where they just need to kind of subtly pull away, piece by piece until they get to the point where it's like, all right, I could quit because I done started building on what I value and wanting to get into this. So now I could just switch, Because some people are bred, like, again, everybody kind of unique signatures a little different. Some people like bred to kind of just make that jump, like fuck that cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? I'm jumping all the way into my soul purpose. And some people, it's better for them to kind of implement it piece by piece so they could have that, because that creates mental stability. Like some of us get mental stability. It might sound paradoxical, but some of us may have that mental strength or stability to make those jumps. Like you feel, like you like making that jump, like that big change, you know what I'm saying? While some, it's better to let that change come gradually. Either way, know yourself. Don't just be listening to everybody else out here. You know what I'm saying? Hence why I do my best to speak objectively and also not talk to you like, hey, listen to what I'm saying. You should do it this way. Like, listen to your intuition before you listen to anybody on a video screen or anything outside you. Doesn't mean to be extreme and not listen. It might have some insight come to you from external because source is within and without, source, God, the universe is inside you and outside you, but it's inside you first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? And always remembering, especially right now, that nobody else is going to save you. You could get help from others, others may help you, but ultimately it's you that got to make the necessary changes and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is going to save you, and let's just say, unfortunately, yes, there are some people who sitting around feeling like, because some may say like, well, what about the people who, feel that they need somebody to save them? That's a part of their karma and their, life journey to understand that or deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Some people may be caught into religion on a level where they waiting for, this external God, or, whether they looking for it in a figure like Jesus, or they looking for Jesus in other people or certain objects, you know what I'm saying? Because again, a crystal could be like Jesus, like, being aware of the subtle nuances of that, that's redundant. Paying attention to the nuances of how you could be externally worshiping or looking for external savior. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ultimately, it's you first and foremost. know what I'm saying? But just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Just a little quick, you know, I just felt the vibe to come in here with that right quick. You know what I'm saying? And again, understanding that doing what you love may come with parts that you don't love, but ultimately the love for it is so strong that you don't mind doing the little parts that you don't like to do. Because as a whole, you know, you really love and like to do what it is that you love and like to do. You know what I'm saying? So, peace. Now as a vibrate, y'all know what it is. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past.